Welcome everyone to your Week 13 Power Rankings, brought to you by me, Fail, aka Fail Chais, aka Power Rankings Guru, aka Silverfoot, aka Master of Salt, aka Sultan of Salt, aka Crusher of Dreams, aka Manti Fail, aka Salt Master, with your Week 13 Power Rankings. Week 13 in the books. It's been a week of thrills and spills. We had our annual gathering of old men trying to be young men, otherwise known as our Turkey Bowl. You know, Thanksgiving. You know, I don't know about all y'all, but you know, I ate myself to sleep that day. It was a pretty great week. The only bad part about the week was the way my team didn't show up for the Haters Bowl. You know, after 3 weeks running, I'm gonna have to give that championship back and you know, take a boot. It's okay. I'm okay with it. You know, I've accepted it at this point. I accepted it early Sunday afternoon while I was working. It just sucks to have to work and not be able to really watch the games that are super important to me. But you know, Cowboys won. And that's kind of all I have to go off of right now is, you know, it's watching the Chiefs fans struggle and have heart attacks and, you know, Cowboys winning dominantly. But, you know, that's not important. What is important is your Week 13 Power Rankings. You know, we're going to start from the bottom. You know, because you guys all got a sneak peek at the bottom this week. You got Fat Parrot at number 14. You know, 1090 for 1087 against. Really, Fat Parrot. My explanation for this is you gave Handlebars a win. What are you thinking? I mean, dude, we were already, you know, just anointing him, baby gap shot after baby gap shot. You know, we were ready for him to delete the app at this point, and you gave him a reason to look into the hourglass one more time, and you know, fuck, for that you dropped to number 14, just out of merit. You could pull yourself out real quick. I mean, you're sitting right there in the middle with a whole bunch of people. So, I mean, you know, for all intents and purposes, you've done this to me before in your power ranking. So, honestly, number 14, got it. Handlebars, you're not out of the salty water at this point either. I only ranked you with a win. I told you you'd probably only move to 13, only because of the next guy that you end up being at number 13, 1060, 1022, 1-5 divisional record. I mean, Handlebars at this point right now, I think the entire league can honestly say that you can go ahead and delete the fantasy football app from your phone. We're all gonna wait a moment while you do that. Thank you. Because you know, it's toast from here. It's not even worth looking at this guy's records or who he's going up against at this point. Handlebars at number 13. At number 14, the loser of the Haters Bowl, myself, Fail. Nothing really happy to speak of on my loss. Drops me way down from where I had risen, beating Kiko the week before. You know, legs finally took it, and you know, I'm gonna save the majority of what I have to say to Hands for later. So please don't chime me off. You know, if the video runs a little long, got a lot of stuff to go over. So Hands, you get your own segment. Number 11 with a loss this week, 1084 points for, 1093 against, a 2-4 divisional record. Mr. Magoo, I really didn't forget about you guys at this point. You know, you're kind of right where you need to be. You're at the bottom, kind of you know, laboring like you were at the Turkey Bowl. I could see hands on hips early and often, and you know, this might not be your last year, but next year might be your last year for the Turkey Bowl. I don't think your body, I mean, the soul is willing, but the body is weak and frail, and you know, you might not get to that point. I mean, you looked a little squishy out there. So at number 11 is Magoo. At number 10, Princess Jasmine. Bro, I think I gave you the salt. I must have given you the salt because I put you up here. You had like that powerful 6-game winning streak, and all of a sudden you became the Jasmine of old, and now your chances of a playoff berth are really reliant on your ability to break your own curse at this point, because you've become the bye week that you started out, and you know, it's at this point right now you belong at number 10 until you prove otherwise. Number 9, Mana. Number 8, Jafar. Jafar, you know, I gave you a little bit of bump, you know, because I did so poorly, and you got to win. You know, you got 1,007 points for. Your divisional record is 2-3. You got no hopes of sniffing the playoffs at this point, but you know, at least you're making it respectable. And there's a couple more games. You know, it's you know, you never know. You never know. But as far as power rankings are concerned, you know, I gave you an 8. At number 7 is, and I am going in reverse order for a purpose. At number 7, I have Rata winning this week. 1143 points for. Rata, your Turkey Bowl stats definitely came into play. Your real life stats, unlike in every other point aspect of your real life, your Turkey Bowl stats came into factor this week, and they actually, you know, helped give you a bump and elevate you above the Manaz and Jafars of the world. So, you know, at number 7 with the win, Rata, congratulations. Hope that ankle's feeling better. There you go. At number 6, outside the top 5, just outside the top 5, but with a 2-game losing streak and possibly his playoff life in jeopardy, I have Milky Tits Butter at 1061 for, 1069 against. You know, he's got no leeway when it comes to a match with him. He's got a 3-3. He's got a 3-3 divisional record right now. And you know, 7-5 overall. Listen, you need another win. You need it desperately. I have some. Let's see here, but you got Baby Gap and Parrot next from my notes. You know, Baby Gap not trying to give anything up, and of course Parrot, I think, you know, would love to play spoiler and take you out of that that playoff spot. So, you know. A lot of reason for another segment in this week's power rankings, but for right now, Butter, you're sitting at 6. Now we go to the top 5. The top 5, and I know that there's a particular someone who feels himself vaulted, and you know, just feels like he owns this at this point. But I have a little bit of a surprise for you. At number 5, White Belt. With a loss this week, 1209 for, 1109 against, 3-3 divisional record. Listen, bro, at this point, you know, it's a tough road ahead, but you're still in the top 5. Number 4, Kiko, 1174, 1069, 1029 against, 3-2 divisional record. You got the win this week, Kiko. Way to come back. Number 3, you know, and right now, as far as the playoffs, you know, he's in there. Surprisingly, Baby Gap, 3-game winning streak, 1124 for, 1156 again against. Listen, he has got a 4-2 divisional record, which I think is important, because I think a lot of the way ESPN works its magic is with these standings is you know, divisional records matter. And just for whatever reason, he's torn through his division. Listen, he's got a hundy the last 2 weeks. He's got 5 out of the 12 weeks so far. So a little less than half hitting the hundy quietly. Baby Gap. I mean, Fat Parrot might not be so off and calling him the dark horse, but you know, he's still got a win to get in at this point, because he is one of those would-be bubble teams right now. We have. Okay, so this was tough. This was tough. I had to take some Turkey Bowl stats into account here, and I felt that as the power rankings guru, the only fair way to do this is the most unfair way possible, and that's to tie Tunko and Legs. I'm sorry, you guys both tied for number 1 in this week's power rankings. You guys can sit and hold hands this week because you guys are both sitting on the top. Listen, Tunko, with a masterful win against Magoo at the end there. Devontae Adams, showing up for him. Legs, you putting me away in the Haters Bowl, it gave you a little bit, but there was a lot to factor in, and I got to tell you, some of the defensive stats that I had turned in from the commission's office and from Tunco's representatives really made it so that hard to call. So tied at number one, Legs and Tunco. Moving on to what we're all here about and what we're all going for is, and that's the playoffs. This part of the message goes out to the commission's office and all the bottom feeders. I don't want our teams to be locked at this point. I would love for us to be able to continue playing and continue playing hard, because as we can all see, the last couple of games are going to matter. They're going to matter for the divisional purposes and for who's going to pick first next year. I mean, a lot of stuff has to go into play, and I would ask the NSF commission office not to lock the bottom feeders, because I would love for I think a penalty for being the worst in the league this year is handlebars. And not showing up to the Turkey Bowl is handlebars. You need to come up with some sort of an award for the consolation bracket, and we figure some way out so that we can have a consolation champion and reason for for everybody to keep playing, because the last thing we want to do is for everybody to be deleting the app, and honestly, this group me is gonna start dwindling down to 6 people and then 4 people, and then we're pretty much gonna be done for the year. Only the reporters and the people who are actually actively involved in the league are gonna keep going. So my message is to the commission office to not block or not stop us from dropping, and for everybody to keep it competitive for the rest of the year. That being said, we got locked players this week. We can't do a full playoff edition of the power rankings just yet, because there are some bubble teams right now. But I just want to point out that Legs and Kiko are in the same bracket. Legs looks like he's going to get the first round bye. You might have to go through a 6-2-6 member to get to the championship. That's just something out there. And the same thing for White Belt. White Belt will have to face 2-3-2-3 members to get in, and then if he gets in and the top part of the bracket works together, it could be a 6-2-6 matchup, and you guys could just be like, fuck it, who cares who wins? We got it. But I know that this league is a little more ruthless than that, and nobody wants to just lay over and let somebody win. So a lot of stuff still left to pan out as far as the playoffs. Again, some bubble teams, Jasmine, losing 3 in a row. I doubt your ability to come back up out there. Rata, he beat White Belt probably one of his toughest last 3 matches. He's got handlebars and Jasmine going into left. Hey, listen, a 7-6 record has gotten into the playoffs before. It has happened, and a 7-6 has won the championship. So just want to put a little bit of that salt out there, Rata. And then Magoo, I just wrote your name down there because, I guess of your record, but you really don't have a chance. You can go ahead and delete the app right now. On to our next segment, that is that this last week we did have our annual gathering of old men trying to be young men, otherwise known as the Turkey Bowl. It was a great Thursday. It was a great Thanksgiving. Turkey Bowl, not so great. It's good to see most of you. But as you can see by the final score, it was pretty lackluster at the end. Actually, it was a great game to watch. Watching these guys really go at it 100% for 10 seconds at a time was quite amusing. I took being the referee very seriously, and I don't mind doing that again. Of course, next year maybe I'll strap on some cleats if I can find some human-sized cleats at Ross, and try to get out there earlier. And I know that game did not start at 9 o'clock, because when I got there at about 11:15, there was only a couple touchdowns scored, and you guys must have stepped up your game when I got there. But it did end in a tie. We did have some no-shows, and you'll have to pretty much, you know, make a statement to the league as to why you couldn't be there. But we did have some interviews. We did have some stuff going on. You know, first my tie for number one and my number one pick in your hearts for the MVP. You know, Tunko and his reaction to the Turkey Bowl. End of game interview with Tunko. Tunko, how do you feel about Turkey Bowl 2016?
I mean, it was bullshit. Parrot, same antics, same bullshit. Me and him, me and Hans over there, show Hans. Co-MVP, I mean, I'll take it. We were down, what, 4,
you guys were down, yeah.
2, I don't know what the fuck, but
were you fucking this hype
call me Crunch Time. Tunko, aka the Gal Master.
Hey Tunko, how do you feel about it ending in a tie?
I mean, with that commissioner, bro, I'm happy.
Hey, so last question. How do you feel about your team going into this weekend?
A little shaky, you know what I mean? I lost 2, AJ Green, whatever, but I'm gonna be in a food coma, so I don't even know. Let me know on Monday.
All right, thank you. Tunko speaking very passionate. He played, you know, with his pig heart on Thursday, and he was pretty awesome. Like I said, those defensive stats really what brought his team back from non-existence. The next interview, listen, guy. First of all, it looks like you came to the Turkey Bowl stoned, but don't ask for an interview. This guy, you know, I caught him asking for an interview, and I ended up giving him one anyways. Wanted to hear what his account was. This is Jafar on the Turkey Bowl this last Thursday.
Oh man! All right, interview me, dude.
Yeah.
Alrighty, hey Jafar, how's it going?
What's up?
So how do you feel about Turkey Bowl 2016?
I felt good. Give it 100%. We went out there, crucial plays. Our defense played, you know, lights out. Tunko made good plays. Negro made good plays. Overall, I think our defense came through.
How do you feel about the game ending in a tie?
You know, I'm not totally happy. I mean, it's not a loss, but we'll take it. You know what I mean? I mean, we played with our hearts. You know. So we just gave it 100%.
All right. And lastly, how do you feel about your fantasy team going into this week?
I feel strong. I'm battling my now this week. I think you know, I should pull a win, even though I'm at the bottom of the barrel. But we'll see.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now on to somebody who matters just a little bit more. Wanted to get Hans' take on how he felt the Turkey Bowl went. Listen. This is the footage that I was talking about earlier about you saying, you know, you're always ready. Don't be talking about no injuries when you're trying to claim always being ready. Let's go to Hans' interview. This is Hans, a.k.a. Manos. Hey, how do you feel about Turkey Bowl 2016, sir?
Oh, it's good. It's good. I had my 3 touchdowns as usual. Normally what I do, fucking, what was that, 3 touchdowns? That's like half the score for my team. I had another touchdown that was taken away. Controversial call. Gonna leave it to the league, the NSL, to review it tomorrow, and we'll see what happens.
Hey, so how do you feel about the Turkey Bowl ending in a tie?
I'm disgusted. Me personally, I'm an athlete, so I'm always in shape. I'm always in shape. I was ready to go another fucking 6 points.
And finally, my vote for most improved player or most valuable participant in the Turkey Bowl had to be Rata. I caught up to him and got a few words from him at the end of the Turkey Bowl. Hey Rata, how you go? We can walk and do this. Hey buddy, hey, so how do you feel about Turkey Bowl 2016? I saw you like walking, limping a little bit.
Injury first quarter.
You were done, limping the whole time.
I was ready. I was pumped. You know, shit happens. Played through the pain. Kept going, dude.
Okay, so how does this compare to the last bum fight you had?
This is it was a lot easier.
And lastly, how do you feel about your team going into this weekend?
Fuck. I don't even want to talk about it. I got like 10 points on the bench right now. Again.
Wow. All right, man. Thank you. This last message goes to Hans, aka Legs, aka Manos, aka Big Nada, aka I take advantage of small women, aka I skip leg day, aka what is leg day, aka I'm a cop. Hans, once again, congratulations on beating me. I felt it appropriate at the end of this video to really salt this up, and you know, I felt like, you know, plain salt wasn't going to be enough. And then I felt like, everybody knows Morton salt, but that might not be enough. So I decided to go out and buy some organic Sicilian, from the seas of Italy, sea salt. This stuff's like $11.99 retail right now at Vons, and I'm not ashamed to be ready to throw this shit all on you, brother, because I gotta tell you, I hope you win. I hope you go all the way. I hope you repeat. I hope all your dreams are fulfilled. It's important to note that the last time you beat me in the regular season, you did go on to win. You didn't have as stiff competition as before, but you did manage that. The last time that you made a substantial playoff run was after taking me out after the show me the money year. So it is with great pleasure that I do you the honor and throw out an entire jar of salt just for you, brother. This has been your Week 14 Power Rankings, brought to you by the Sultan of Salt himself, the Guru of Power Rankings, Manti Feo. Talk to you later.